So this next segment is awesome for so many reasons. Fox News went after Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez yet again. But they did it in a fascinating way. So you're going to see something in the middle here that actually makes me very proud. We can now say the Justice Democrats takeover is complete. In one way, it's complete. Let me be clear, because obviously the majority of the party, it's not Justice Democrats. The majority of the elected Democrats are not Justice Democrats. But we do have a Justice Democrats caucus now, and they are, honestly, the most well-known congresspeople are the Justice Democrats. Ro Khanna is one of the most well-known congresspeople. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the most well-known congresspeople. So that's something. That's big. And so, Justice Democrats is still doing their thing, moving forward, looking for more people to become awesome Justice Democrats. And our takeover of the party will continue. But at least in one way, the takeover of the party is complete. So this is awesome. Let's watch Fox News' new hit job on AOC, and then we'll talk about it.
There's a battle right now in the Democrat Party for the face of the movement. You got the old guard, Nancy Pelosi, the new upstarts, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and others. In your opinion, who would you view as the face of the party?
I would probably choose Cortez.
I would say AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I think, unfortunately, Ocasio-Cortez is probably the face of the Democratic Party.
A majority of students at Georgetown telling campus reform that political newcomer Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the face of the Democratic Party. What's behind this movement toward the freshman congresswoman? CampusReform.org media director Cabot Phillips joins me now with more. Cabot, thank you so much for being here. Brave to go on a college campus and ask these questions. So you asked them who was the leader of the party. What did you find?
It was overwhelmingly, they said time after time, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She represents my views. I think a lot of young people feel like they can relate with her. They see her on social media. And on a deeper level, I've been on hundreds of campuses. I've spoken to thousands of young voters with Leadership Institute's campus reform. I've seen this mentality of people wanting to oppose the establishment. After 2016, a lot of them feel like the election was rigged for Hillary Clinton, so they're supporting more fringe candidates. I think there's also social pressure to go along with anything that's as far left as possible. Every day in class, when you're getting these radical ideas, of course, they're going to seem more normal to you. Listen in their own words as they describe other reasons why they support her, and a lot of them are ignoring the policies and just going with her as a person.
Just because Cortez is like 29 and she's kind of branded herself as a socialist.
She represents like a new progressive thing that's really that's pretty prevalent on college campuses.
As my age group participates more, there's going to be a lot more people steering that direction, steering in a more democratic socialist direction.
She's pulling pretty far to the left. I think people are going to like it.
Okay, now I think you're right. I think she's young. She's on these Instagram videos all the time. She's playing up social media. And also, I think the idea of socialism really just is appealing to millennials. None of that surprised me. Now, I have to ask you, though, in New York State, she's doing well on the college campuses. When you look at her approval ratings in New York, 31% favorable, 44% unfavorable. What does that tell you? To me, that speaks in terms of ideas on a college campus, great. Practical application of those ideas, not so great.
It should be telling that the people that see her the most, that know her the best, have one of the worst approval ratings of her in the entire country. And there's a difference between the campaign version of someone, and in AOC's case, she sounds aspirational, she's inspirational. In many ways, it's easy to ignore the policies and substance and just be inspired by her and say, yeah, of course I support her. But once they actually see her policies taking hold, once they see Amazon choosing to leave, in large part because of her rhetoric, I think they're realizing, wait a second, maybe this rhetoric is not really what we wanted. Maybe this is going to be a bad thing. This is bad news for the Democrat Party. The more fringe they go, the harder it's going to be to win re-election. They need to convert moderate voters if they have any chance of winning against Donald Trump. And the farther left they go, the harder it's going to be to do so.
On the Citations Needed podcast, which I recommend, they were talking about this phenomenon. It's called the inexplicable Republican best friend, where you have a Republican who's pretending to give good faith advice to the left, like, bro, listen, in order for you guys to win, what you got to do is be a lot more like me. But you're a Republican. We're trying to take over the Democratic Party. You're the opposition party. Almost by definition, whatever you're recommending I do, I should do the opposite. Because you're not looking out for my best interests. You're on the right. What are you talking about? And you never see it work the other way. You never see me or other left-wing characters like, here's the Republicans, if they really want to win, bro, here's what they should do. We don't do that because that's fucking ridiculous, because my advice would be dismissed immediately, because I ain't trying to help the Republicans. I'm trying to help Republican voters and regular people and improve their lives, but I'm not trying to help the Republican Party, the DC politicians, who I think are basically unsalvageable. So it's just ridiculous that they like, I'm trying to help you out, all right? You know, I've been spending my entire adult life in right-wing politics, but let me explain to the left what you guys got to do. Fuck off. How about that? How about you fuck off? All right, now, a few things to lay out for everybody. First of all, it is true that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's approval rating has gone down. Now, there's nuance there, and the nuance is really the main category of person that she's struggling with is white men. White men. And with younger voters, she's much more popular. With, with people of color, she's much more popular. And I honestly believe, and she believes it as well because she tweeted about it, that the reason her approval rating has taken a hit is because Fox News has become the AOC TMZ network, where they just cover her 24/7. By the way, it is not at all beyond them to flat out lie about her. They've done it endlessly. Oh, she wants to ban cows because they fart and that hurts climate change, so she wants to ban cows. And she wants to ban airplanes. Totally, she's going to ban airplanes. That's what she's going to do. And people hear this, and some people believe it. And then on the Amazon deal front, listen, when the details of the Amazon deal originally came out, everybody was against it. Everybody. Why? Because it was ridiculous. You're buying a helipad for the richest man in the world with New York taxpayer money. That's my money going towards a fucking helipad for Jeff Bezos, so he can take dick pics in his helicopter as he's flying to his headquarters. And it's, they hose the taxpayers and give massive corporate welfare, and he promises the moon and the sun with so many jobs. But every time this has happened elsewhere with these sweetheart corporate welfare deals, you hose the taxpayers. They don't even hire everybody they say they're going to hire, and there's so many downsides to it, and it's just not worth it. You want to come to New York, come to New York, but we're not going to lay out the red carpet and fork over all of our taxpayer money. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez knows that this is fucked up, and she's fighting against the cronyism and the corporatism. And it was, everybody loved it at first, but then after the media onslaught, not just on Fox News, but also on MSNBC, also on CNN, everybody in that corporate media class started hammering her day after day after day. She's in over her head. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's hurting New York. She's hurting a job situation. And then boom, her approval rating took a hit. But I got news for everybody. Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ideologically agree very much, probably over 95%. Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the country. So it's almost like her ideas and her policies are not the reason why her approval rating has taken a hit, and it's the relentless smear jobs against her. Now, I feel bad for them, because when I say them, I mean the Justice Democrats, because there's not enough of them in office where they can really mount an effective counterattack. You know what I mean? So, for hours a day on all the different networks, they're going after Alexandria, and then she sends out one tweet to rebut it, and it's supposed to be even, but no, the propaganda is going to hold when they're doing it day in and day out, and she can only respond via Twitter. So there's not enough of a defense squad to really effectively control the narrative and fight back and get, our desired outcome, which is for everybody to realize that she's fighting for them. But that's really more of the fault of all the smear merchants. I'm not going to blame the victim here and say, oh, it's on her that, she's been relentlessly smeared for months on end on a daily basis. So, and here's the main point. They got it exactly backwards in that clip. Because what did that dude say? He was like, well, you talk to these people and they seem to like her, not for any policy reasons. Are you kidding me? Justice Democrats was founded specifically on being anti-corruption and incredibly policy-focused. So the whole movement is the opposite of what you're claiming, and I'm willing to bet you this. You take any Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez supporter and their policy reasons for backing Cortez and put it up against any Fox News viewer and their policy reasons for backing Trump or any Republican you want. And the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez supporter, 10 out of 10 times, is going to be able to give you specific, detailed policy reasons why they support Alexandria, why they support Justice Democrats, why they support these left-wing candidates. And you notice there were quick cuts in those clips, like, oh, this person didn't mention policy, person didn't mention policy, this person didn't mention policy. Yeah, I'm sure that, I'm sure that there's no footage there that you're leaving out where one of them or a couple of them mentioned Medicare for all or free college or addressing student loan debt or Green New Deal. I guarantee you they mentioned that, and you just kept it out. And you're pretending like, oh, these new lefties, they're not at all policy-focused. All we are is policy-focused. All we are is policy-focused. So it's obnoxious and it's ridiculous, and it's a shame that the relentless propaganda has worked to an extent. But just understand something. The oldest tricks in the book are projection. So try to accuse the other side of what you're guilty of. So these guys are not at all policy-focused. And they're like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, not at all policy-focused. What? Or just like they did recently, they tried to muck up a fake corruption scandal against her and against Shoykot, who was one of the co-founders of Justice Democrats with me and Cenk. By the way, literally none of us, myself, Cenk Uygur, Shoykot, and Zach Exley, none of us took a single penny from Justice Democrats. None of us took a salary. None of us took any money. We all did it because we care deeply about these issues and we want to fix the country with the right policies. And ironically, they claim that somebody who never took a fucking dime is the corrupt one, and Justice Democrats are corrupt. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they claimed he's running a slush fund. He wasn't running a slush fund. The way Justice Democrats was set up, you needed the money centralized in one place in order for Justice Democrats to try to run all these different campaigns and still maintain it in a legal fashion, because our fucking campaign finance laws are so convoluted and so insane that we needed to put the money all in one place and it had to be put through an LLC. But they turn around and they go, corruption. They have money in one place. And obviously, they're the ones who are corrupt, even though their whole movement is founded on stopping corruption. So it's projection nonstop, and you see it again in this clip. Oh, all the supporters of AOC and Justice Democrats. Are you kidding me? All the supporters, they don't care about policy. Where have you been? Where have you been? It's really frustrating. It really is. But hey, we knew it. We were going to get relentlessly smeared no matter what. And here we are. And by the way, it's hilarious. With the overwhelming success of Justice Democrats, you know how many interview requests I've gotten? Like, oh, hey, shit, you co-founded a group that was wildly successful, that's taken over the Democratic Party. That's amazing, man. Can I interview you and ask you how you did it and what your ideas are and what the future of the party should be and what you think? How many interview requests have I gotten for that? It's almost like they don't want to know because they are all trying to fight it. Whether it's Fox News or MSNBC or CNN or all the corporate politicians, it's almost like they're all against it. And so they're trying to shove their head in the sand and act like if we give it no attention, maybe it'll go away. We'll see about that.